I think I'm live. Yeah, peace, everybody. Sorry, I'm late. Um, but we will get started. Hope everybody is doing well. Do, 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 do. Try to make sure that you guys get as much information as possible today. Kind of get y'all prepared for what's actually to come. So, purposes, we're going to go over cosmology, kind of like anime style, but also we're also going to be talking about just preparing your finances because your wallet is at risk, and a lot of y'all are feeling it. So there's going to be some practical ways that we're going to be actually talking about to actually get y'all going to actually make money, right? So that's the important thing. So let me go ahead and peace everybody up in the building. Show y'all love. Peace, y'all. Peace, 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 and peace. Peace, everybody. It has been a minute, y'all. Peace. So let me go ahead and get started so I don't take up too much of y'all's time. Share my screen. If my screen will share. Let me see if I can do this. I think that's right. Let me get off of here. Present my screen. Okay, yeah, share this one. Okay, yeah. Okay, cool. Y'all can see my screen. Cool. Won't take up too long. So we're gonna actually skip the preamble because I know y'all like damn. But just remember to know your preamble, right? We'll do it next time. And the 12 general orders. So this is also the topic that I always got to discuss with everybody because somehow people are still not knowing where to go. You guys are still trying to figure out where do I pay dues? You pay them right here, honorgovernment.org. You scroll down. Oop, I didn't skip past that. You scroll down, you see this right here, national dues. Click on it, pay it, right? Some of y'all like, where do dues go? You already know where dues go, y'all. It says right here in the Constitution. So, funds the employment for nationals and non-nationals, as well as allows possible investments and stuff like that. Let's get past that. We do have some events coming up, so hopefully you guys are getting ready for the summit. It's going to be in Georgia, right? We also just finished having the powwow. It was cool. It was dope. It was litty. Um, Shout out to everybody that came through, had a good time, had some good food, um, and we'll do it again next year. So obviously we're not doing the Belize, but August 18th through the 20th is the ATL Aboriginal Summit. So be sure to be there. I think more details should be on the Arna Government or not Arna Government, but arnaevents.org or .com, whichever one. I think they both go to the same place. And then lastly, the Ramadan Ball that's happening in December, right? Okay, let's get ourselves grounded. I know things is hard. I know things is really stressing right now, but the big thing is to not be in the state of panic, right? Get yourself grounded, right? And let's just work together. So, Aboriginal shape, we talked about it before, but we're going to be honing in on cosmology specifically. So, we talked about this before, so we won't spend too much time, but it's like the book of you. Are you actually opening it? Are you studying it? Are you analyzing it? Are you adding more pages to your book? Are you continuously writing? Are you activating your powers? Right? Because some of y'all running on E. It's like, man, when I be talking to y'all, you're like, man, how y'all doing? And I'm like, man, I'm doing all right. So obviously this is in our protocol manual. You can see this. These are the ancestors that I'm referring to, right? So shout out to the Chief Ali on this one, putting all this together. Um, and I'm not teaching on cosmology. By all means, I'm not doing that. So that's what we have Bob for, right? So just to make sure that you understood what was in the rites of passage video, this is how you find your birth card. Some of y'all are still coming to me saying errors of not being able to find your birth card. This is the formula, right? And then this is the plate, the cosmic plate that you would use. Okay. And then this is how you find your planetary ruler. And this is how you find your planetary number, right? So I'm not the teacher. If you want to learn more about that, go to Minister Bach, right? So let's talk about this aboriginal shape cosmology wise, right? So I'm gonna hone in on the 4 elements. So I'm gonna start with water or the hearts, the heart elements. Some of y'all have hearts on y'all, right? And at first, it seems to be like everything's, sunshine, rainbows, relationships are flowing, things of that nature. And I'm gonna go into the specifics, right? So this is how y'all start off with. For those who have hearts on them as their magnetic cards, I'm talking about the 3 main ones, right? That's what we're gonna be focused on. This is how y'all pool be looking like. It be looking clear. You can see through it. It is nice. Everything is just clear, good. Everything. It's vibrant. And to like kind of put it in terms of real reality, you guys are ready to love on everybody. You guys are just allowing anybody to swim in your pool. You're like, you come in. Everybody swim in my pool, right? You're just like, yeah. And you're just serving people water. You're doing all this stuff. No boundaries are set. And as a result of doing all that, and you're not getting replenished, you're not filtering your water, this is what happens to your pool. And this is what happens to you, right? You start crying, your emotions are getting crazy. But your pool, look at this pool, y'all. This is how some of y'all hearts, when I be talking to some of y'all pool be looking like this. Dirty, ain't been filtered, ain't no water in it. I don't even know what that is actually. But this is what happens when you mismanage your pool, is what I'm saying. And not everybody's allowed to swim in your pool, y'all. So for those who have the hearts as one of the 3 magnetic cards, understand this. Not everybody's allowed to swim in your pool. And as a result, you'll just end up being emotionally drained, tired. You'll be emotional. And some of the learning moments is that not everybody wants to drink your water. Like you don't have to give everybody water. Some people don't want the water. Some people like, oh, I'm chilling, right? But you also need to learn to filter your water. You filter your pool as a result of this, because if water just sits there for too long, it just kind of looks like this: brown, stagnant, doesn't look clean, doesn't look nice. So you need to always find a way to have somebody either pour back into you some clean water so that you can allow your filtration system to clean itself out, and just allowing people to pour into you, right? But the key concept essentially is management of relationships and your emotions. Because if you don't, you'll end up looking like Tom from the Boondocks, right? You just be whimpering, right? So that's the key concept, right? For the hearts. And as a result, you want to continue to expand your pool when you are managing it correctly. You should be building a theme park. I'm talking to the hearts, right? This is what your park should be looking like. It should be expanded, it should be looking dope, and you're continuing to add into it. You continue to pour into it. You can continue to expand, but you're managing it properly. That's the big thing, is managing it properly. So let's move on to clubs, dealing with the oxygen. Everybody's familiar with this. We talked about this before, but this is how y'all start off. Clear skies. To all the clubs, it starts off clear skies at the beginning of the year, or after your birthday, or before your birthday ramps up. Clear skies, everything's flowing, oxygen going in, a nice smooth direction. It's not too crazy. You're ready to talk to everybody. Everybody's opening up and giving you information, and you're like, oh, okay, that's good. You're gonna put that in your library and stuff like that. Y'all's library is clean. It ain't messy. It's just organized. Everything is just, yeah, it's great. And you're studying, you're communicating effectively, and you're learning like crazy. And so you may even be teaching folks too, right? I know I can learn a thing or two from clubs, right? So after a while, if you don't manage it properly, your ass is like about to fucking create a tornado, y'all. And y'all's library is looking like this at the bottom. Like it's just looking very, 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 very unorganized. It is looking like a rat's nest. And you're not sharing information. You can't find nothing in your library. And you actually allowing people who don't even have a library card to check into your library. And you should have a library card. Everybody who you allow into your library needs to have a library card, period. If they're going to check out some books, they're going to check in, they're going to read, they're going to use the computer, they're going to tap into your wealth of knowledge. Just be careful because y'all can cause some thunderstorms. Y'all can cause some tornadoes as well. Um, so just learn to communicate. How do you continue to replenish that so that you're not low? Communicate with other clubs, share information with each other, learn from each other, and things of that nature. But the key concept is just management of information and communication, period, in simplistic form, right? And then when you do, it just looks like this. It's like, damn, it's like dope, right? Let's talk about the diamonds. I know some diamonds in the building, right? I'm one of those, right? So your money's flowing right, and that's what we're gonna be talking about too today. I like talking about money. So money's right, flowing, everything's clean, shining. You got gold just in the corner, just looking great. Investments going well, and you're giving generously without even counting the coins. And your value is high. You know your worth, and you know what you bring to the table, right? Um, Plus, you know where to find opportunities, and you're constantly like smelling for money. Like, where is where's more money? And you know where to find it. You're like, oh, there's some value over there, y'all. That's where we need to go. And after a while of doing this, after your birthday is passed, right? Your diamond be looking like this, y'all. Can you even recognize that's even gold? I don't even I can't even tell that's gold, y'all. But this is gold. And this is a result of you just allowing people to throw dirt, mud, muck all over your diamond, and they don't see the value that you have and that you bring. Um, and you stop shining, people don't even recognize you. It's like, damn, man, you're not even shining no more. What's going on? You doing all right? Um, Low energy, lack of enthusiasm about money. You're like, nah, I don't want to make money today. You may even start gambling, y'all, and just not appreciate the resources that you have at hand, right? So the key concept is just management of resources and currency, period. And when you do that, um, you'll see a whole bunch of money just waiting for you, right? So let me ask y'all this. Can y'all tell the difference between which one is real and which one is fake? Just a quick candid. Let me know in the chat which one y'all think is real, the left or the right one. But basically, people are driven by currency, y'all. And understand that some people, when you pay them, they don't even want to work. And there's people who you don't pay and they still don't want to work. That's the crazy part. And this is a hard place in the rock. You said the right is real? Okay. Okay. I'm gonna let y'all know which one is the real one in a minute. And so as a result of everything, you're like, well, who's really about it? Who's really about it? Who do I give my money to? Or, who do I partner with to build something that's substantial? Because you'll have both sides of the spectrum. And so that's kind of like the dilemma for some diamonds. They're like, damn, do I pay you or do I pay you? Do I pay you? Do I pay you? Are you going to bring me the value tenfold or not? So, okay, so it says on the left. Actually, yep, you're right. So, Sister Me is right. The left is the real gold, y'all. This is known as fool's gold. Now, this is the left, y'all. This is fool's gold. This is what if y'all if diamonds aren't careful, y'all be handing out the fool's gold to people. Y'all be like, oh, that's the dysfunctional state. Y'all be like, oh yeah, I got this shiny thing, and I promise you, it's worth a lot. And then when you deliver it, everybody's like, oh damn, it's exciting. And then they do evaluation, but wait, this ain't real. So you've been hoodwinked, right? So um, be careful. Just be careful not to do that to people because y'all can see value in any place that y'all go, and y'all are valuable yourselves. So don't ever forget that. So um, awesome job on that, Sister Mia. So let me keep it moving. Spades dealing with fire, hydrogen, right? We talked about this before, so I won't spend a whole bunch of time on it, right? But as a result, the fire, your birthday's here, let's say your birthday's here, right? Passion is at an all-time high. Like you fired up, you ready to go. You tapping into wisdom and you're using it in a fair manner. And you're just getting constant downloads of wisdom. And work just seems easy. You don't need to be motivated to do work. And that's just typically how spades are, right? And so you just blazing the trail. Sometimes y'all not careful and y'all burning the neighborhood, right? So be careful, right? Your passion may be so strong that you burn it down in neighborhoods and cities, right? Speaking of which, I think there's like a forest fire in Canada, right? That spread the smokes that spread to New York. We'll talk about that in a bit. So as a result, if you don't manage your spade energy, your fire energy, you'll be basically be left with nothing to give. You ain't got nothing left to give. And sometimes you may forget things. You be like, damn, I didn't I know this already? And I made the same mistake. You're in a dysfunctional state. These are things that you may have warned somebody about that you're like, I could have sworn I told somebody about that. So as a result, you need to manage your wisdom. You need to manage your work and your passion, right? Because these things can get all types of wax that you end up burning a whole motherfucking city, right? So, and then as a result, if you don't manage it correctly, your flame could be put out by a gust of wind, just like that, or water being dumped on it, or somebody just rolling some rocks across it, right? Just like that. So you want to be in this state, right? You see the number one hero up at the top, just like burning it up. Like, yo, you want to be blazing the trail just like this. Okay. So, side note, this is what's happening. Folks in New York, I'm not sure why you're still in New York. You need to come down south. But look at what they talking about. Wildfire smoke can increase risk of cold. Yeah, I won't even say it. But y'all can see it. I don't know what type of game they playing. You already know what type of game they're playing. I don't even want to go into it. They might even, I don't know, remove the video. But it's ironic, right? That they're saying this, right? That exposure to wildfire smoke can increase a person's risk of getting COVID or developing a severe case of the disease. So it's like everything has already been planned 2010 before. And anyway, so y'all need to get out of New York, okay? Um, so recharging your ancestors. So I know we talked about the specific elements, their strengths, what happens, over a period of time. But this is how you peace to the God, peace, peace, peace. I see you in the building, peace. So I'll give you an example of how a diamond or a heart can like be recharged by somebody else, right? That you may not even be, like you may not even be aware of it. So the big thing of like kind of like hone in on is like basically your moon support and moon bottoms, right? So example would be somebody who has maybe a jack of diamonds, four hearts, and a four diamonds, right? And let's compare that to just myself, right? Queen of hearts, eight of diamonds, ten of spades. So any one of those cards can feed into not any one, but the Queen of Hearts can feed into the four of hearts, and the eight of diamonds can feed into the Jack of diamonds or the four of hearts. And why am I saying that? Because there is a connection of the Queen of Hearts being the moon bottom. And so, being that those are the three magnetic cards for the two people, the Queen of Hearts can feed into all three of the person's cards. So it's pouring back into it, or it's giving resourceful ideas or being resourceful to the person in that instance. And so as a result of that, the person feels a magnetic charge. As an example, right? What he says, you I'm a Jack of Diamonds, Queen of Hearts. Hey, let's go. I see you got the motherfucking Naruto's father. Yeah. But yeah, that's as an example of, and this, you're like, oh, we already know all this, but it's like, why am I sharing this, or why am I telling you this? Based off of observation, research, um, and just kind of like analyzing the different people that I've been interacting with. Somebody that I was talking to on the phone that has those cards was like, I was like, yo, how you doing, man? You everything good? Like, man, I'm doing all right. Meaning they were fatigued, tired, drained. They ain't got nothing left to give. Um, and as a result, no. That's what I'm saying. It's Naruto's father. I just couldn't think of his name. Right? That's what I said. But that's funny. Yes. I'm very familiar with Naruto Shippuden, the Naruto series. It's a dope anime, manga too. But yeah, so as a result, when you do those things, um, the person is really feeling the charge from the other person, because again, it's only one way, right? So the Queen of Hearts is tapping into the Jack of Diamonds, and so it's just pouring into it. And so as a result, the Jack of Diamonds, the four hearts, and the four of diamonds get charged, because you got the Queen of Hearts that takes care of the heart element, so it's pouring back into it, and then you got the Eight of Diamonds taking care of the diamonds that are giving it resourceful ideas. So my point of saying that is that pay attention to who it is that you're interacting with. If you're a heart, or a diamond, or whatever the suits that you have. Let's say you're all hearts. I hope you are connecting with somebody who has the heart on them that is either a moon bottom or moon support to you, because that's going to be some of the ways that you're going to get charged up, right? And there's other ways of going about it. This is just some of the things that I'm just talking about, right? I'm just trying to put a little bit of hydro pressure on everybody to really start building local jurisdictions, getting involved in your local jurisdictions, and really just understanding the cards and really putting them into real time applications, right? You should be using this stuff even when you're doing business with people, um, as an example. So, without spending too much time, it's really up to you. It's really up to you. Um, Whether you want to activate it or not, it's up to you, and it's a huge responsibility, right? As a result of it. So, like I said, I'm not here to teach on it. Just really just trying to give some perspective and really just hone in on some things that I think a lot of people may be missing or may not be paying attention to or aware of, just because of just a lot of the interactions that I've been interacting with, as far as with people and stuff like that. So let's move on to my favorite subject, y'all. Money. Money. I'm just kidding. I'm not though, but so what is your value? We've talked about this before. Are you valuable? E equals I times R, right? That's energy, right? That's the Ohm's law, that's whatever the case is. But you need to be valuable. And we'll talk about how you can do that. So we talked about this before, but the SIS rule for economics, which is save, pay off your debt, and have enough for a rainy day. Some of y'all don't even have $100 to your name. And I know y'all feeling it, right? Y'all feeling the pinch, y'all feeling the burn a little bit, and you're like, man, when am I gonna get paid? Right? And it's very important that you save and pay off the debt, right? And when you do that, then you're able to actually do the next step, which is invest. Hard to invest when you're swimming in debt. It's not gonna happen. It's gonna be very difficult. So any little things like these store credit cards that you may have, I'm not sure why people have those, but like I get it, you're trying to build credit, but that there are better ways to do that. So pay those things off, right? And yeah, so and then we'll talk about some investment opportunities as well, because you know I like investing. There's a lot of different things that I have my hands in that, they're turning out some really good results. And then speculate. Speculate, whew, I know y'all like, man, we'll talk about that as well. So, but these are just some of the rules that you want to remember, the CIS rule, right? I know some of y'all, and this is not, some of y'all have been praying that Mr. Biden will end student loan and just cancel it, right? Well, hey, the pause for student loans is ending in June 30th, y'all. So if you have student loans that you have not addressed, that you like, oh, it's about to go away, or 10,000 about to get knocked off, or whatever the case is, y'all, payments about to start, June 30th, y'all. Y'all playing around. If you need remedy, I know some of y'all have filled out intakes for me or for other people. Just give us some time. We'll look at it. So, but you need to really start figuring out what you're going to do to address the student loans, because I talk to people saying, student loans, you can't get rid of those, which is not true. We have remedies for that. So you need to start considering that as part of your strategy, removing these huge obstacles that are basically bogging you down, right? So, World Government Summit is part of getting your finances together. I'm just showing y'all kind of the agenda from 2019, right? This is 2019 agenda. Some of the stuff. This is not all of it, right? But they're talking about a World Bank. Huh. um, High level discussion of generation of government services and the future government services in a citizen centric digital world. They're talking about everything that is digital, the fourth industrial revolution, right? The digital economy. And we're going to talk about this stuff for what you can do in real time. Blockchain changing one city at a time. It's happening. It's already happened. AI ethics, wellness, the $4.2 trillion opportunity. Yeah. And then this is what they talked about. This is some of the stuff that they talked about this year, right? You see Mr. Yeah, you already know. And then what lies ahead in the dawn of the new industrial era. Yeah. They are constantly having these discussions and then implementing it. This is the same thing for those who are in Arnhem. That's what we have to be doing. So getting involved in the local jurisdictions, having involvement in the ministries, which we'll talk about too, the 12 different ministries, and then really just start building your families, right? And really making those things a priority and getting your finances together, which is what this is the theme of it, getting your finances together, because it's going to be hard to do a lot of that stuff if your finances aren't together. So some of y'all still rocking some of these jobs, right? Store greeter, robot chef. These are things that cops, I know some of y'all like, what? Sex worker. Mm-hmm. Jobs aren't safe, y'all. And we got AI here disturbing and disrupting a lot of things, right? So all these things that you're seeing, you're probably used to seeing people there. You are now probably seeing robots. And this is stuff we've talked about before, so this is not nothing new, but just as a reminder, right? Now, for those who have crypto, and maybe some of y'all have, I don't know what that's about. Some of y'all that have these crypto, your crypto stored on these exchanges. I told y'all before, get your stuff off of these exchanges, because look what the God the SEC is doing. Talking about lawsuit against Binance and Coinbase. Now, we already know what the SEC has been doing. They already had their hands in the pot in the cookie jar with FTX, that whole debacle. So it's like, wait, aren't you supposed to be regulating, but you're investing in these things? This is no different. They got their hands in the pie with these things. So what I'm telling y'all is that if you need help, like actually going through, maybe you have a ledger, or maybe you have a treasure, or you have a different device, and you need to like, um, let's say, get some of your stuff off of these exchanges into your wallets. Schedule a business economic consult. We'll be happy to actually walk you through that. But you definitely, the time is ticking. You shouldn't be comfortable having your money sitting on these exchanges, because what's going to happen is that they're going to freeze the account, and you're not going to be able to get your money back. It's going to be poof gone like magic. And because you were not responsible enough to either get some direction on how to move this stuff to a hot wallet or to a cold wallet, and or you were lazy. There's YouTube, y'all. Y'all tripping. So as a warning, get your stuff off these exchanges, y'all, because they're hammering down on them, and you don't want to be caught blindsided with money on there. Okay. Now some of y'all nationals, some of y'all even have tax exempt businesses through ARNA. Both are good. We've talked about this before, but the national sales tax, all right, U.S. will substantially increase taxes to close the 1.4 trillion budget deficit. Y'all, they're about to tax the citizens into oblivion. So how do you prepare? Right? You see that they have passed. They raised the debt limit ceiling, and so as a result, somebody's got to pay for that. Not I. Doesn't have to be nationals or people who have indigenous businesses, but definitely you don't want to remain in your current status as basically a citizen, as a 14th Amendment citizen, because as a result, you're going to be responsible for this. Somebody's going to have to pay. The debt clock's at 30 trillion or 31 trillion or something like that, and it's only going higher. So I don't know what to tell y'all. ChatGPT. This is a good tool to use. Have your own knowledge, but you always want to use tools that are going to help kind of make things a little bit simpler or easier for you. So if you haven't been using ChatGPT, use it. Use it as a tool. It's a resource. It's another resource. People were saying the same thing about the internet. What, 25 plus years ago? They're like, the internet, isn't it just another, you can use it as a one-page marketing brochure, a web page? No, it's more than that, y'all. And people who saw it, they took the opportunity to capitalize on it. So it's the same thing. Use it as a resource or a tool that you can, get things done with, right? All right. So the other thing that we have to make sure that folks who don't know, again, this is for folks who aren't aware or nationalized, but you want to get yourself nationalized. You want to get yourself nationalized through a body politic that's actually going to provide you the protections and things that you need, right? Or start an indigenous business, right? Either way, long term, you need to do something. Clock is ticking. And so these are just some of the benefits of why ARNA is actually beneficial to people. Like, we have the science of mating down to a T. We have contraindications down to a T. I should probably change that. So let me go ahead and do that. I'll just say vaccine. Oops, I spelled that wrong. So, save more money with your families. Like, if you're using your tax exemption card, you should be saving money. If you're not using it, I don't know why. But if you need direction on how to use it, there's a video for that. You can watch it, right? We have health assistance, we have legal assistance, we have indigenous protections, we have debt removal services, we have all these things. We have roadmaps to help you become an entrepreneur through the Aboriginal University. These are tools and resources that you need to be tapping into, period. And you can build generational wealth being in your proper status, because nobody's going to be extracting taxes from your business or from you personally. Um, Point blank, Mastermind Comics has been here for a while and haven't gotten a letter saying, bring us the money. And you won't. So these are just some of the things to just put in your forefront. And if you need to transfer an existing business that you did previously in the U.S. jurisdiction, we have remedy for that as well. Definitely, if you need clarity or just direction, just schedule a consultation, right? We'd be happy to help you and get that solved. So, we talked about the 12 ministries. These are the 12 ministries. Get involved with them. We have the Ministry of Congress. Let me see if I know I've shown this before, but I got to show it again because we need to make sure that we know these things. Right here. Ministerial Congress members. Boom. Right here. Get familiar. Tap in with them. Right? That's what they're there for. Get involved in the different projects that they got going on. They need the help. I promise you. So let me go back. Okay. Let me go back here. All right. Some of y'all planning about opening up your bank account, your business bank account, and I'm not sure why. I know some of y'all having challenges. I did have a couple of folks call me yesterday saying that, I've been denied. What's going on? Is this real? How do you do it? Are you even? I just said, go to the protocol manual, go watch the video. It's not that difficult, even though there's some things that want to make sure that we add in general that you're going to need to make sure that you do a fictitious name registration through your county or wherever you're at. That's the other thing for those who aren't aware. But you have everything that you'll need. You'll have the articles, you have the EIN, you have the W-9, you have all that stuff, the master file that shows that this entity is tax exempt. And don't let them tell you, oh, it's not tax exempt, blah, blah, blah. This ain't real. You can go ahead and leave. They'll do all this stuff to discourage you from even going further. And if they do this, like we always tell y'all, go to a different branch. That's going to solve your problem. But for you to not have your business bank account that can't be lien garnished and is tax exempt, I'm not sure why you're not using it. You're wasting time. And these are part of the things that you're going to need to do to be prepared. I know y'all like, oh, aren't you supposed to be talking about how we're supposed to be prepared? This is how you prepare. This is one of the things you do to prepare. Like, you need to be having your money deposited into your taxes and business that you get when you become a national, or if you buy one because you're not a national, right? You need to be using it. Like, there's no reason for you, and it's not, and they're making it much more difficult to open it. So that's the other issues, that banks are not as willing as they used to be. They're like, oh, this shouldn't be too bad, right? So branches are, at their discretion. They're like, nah, we're not opening that account. I don't know what you're about to do. And that you'd be like, oh, that isn't that discrimination? Yeah. Yes. But we're using their institutions. So until we actually have a system in place, this is what we have to do for now, right? So it's not that difficult, I promise y'all. All right, ways to make money, y'all. This is some of the stuff that I wanted to talk about too. So I'm gonna remove this and make sure that we harp on this portion too. So skills that you want to look into. We talked about this before. Cloud computing, e-commerce. What would be the remedy if we still owe taxes? Okay, yeah. I'll answer that question at the end when we do Q&A. So, e-commerce. This is something I'm like, I know all this other stuff is nice, but for those in the immediate term, I just want y'all to hone in on e-commerce and digital trade. Like, e-commerce. We talked about this before. E-commerce. Y'all should have a website. It's not that hard. Um, and let's say you and we can talk about it right now. You're fresh out of Aboriginal University as a graduate. You're like, okay, great. I have the skill. What do I do? Get a website. Get a website, make it nice, professional looking. There's plugins dropping. You ain't got to hire nobody to fix the website for you. It can look very professional with the plugins that they have in place already. And so using Wix, GoDaddy, whoever, I think it was Gator, whatever, they have already Square, they already have setups already in place with the security and all that stuff. So you don't even have to worry about it. I remember building a website and having to worry about all that stuff. Code be wrong and it F up the whole website. But now they make it where it's just drag and drop. It's easy. So there's no reason why you can't have a website in less than a week. Then once you do that, next thing you need to do is you need to tell everybody what it is that you're doing. Maybe offer some free services, right? You're like, why am I offering free services? Aren't I supposed to be making money? Yes, but nobody knows you. So either you're offering somewhat of a free service or you're offering um, valuable insights to some people's problems. So how do you do that? You can basically make a YouTube channel, write a book, all these things. And some of these things you can put a dollar amount to them. So the idea is that, and maybe going to some events, maybe sampling out some certain things to people. The idea is that you're giving it away and you're not expecting anything. Like you're not expecting anything in return. You're not expecting money from the no. You're literally giving. You're giving value to people, and as a result of it, people are going to come back because either it was that great and they found the information or the thing valuable enough to like, hey, I want to purchase from you. Like, what do you have that I could purchase? Or I see that you have the service on the website. I want to work with you. And because you planted that seed, it grew and it grew into a tree. And now you have clients flowing. Maybe you're doing events. Maybe you're doing trade shows. Putting things on social media. It's free for now. I think they have to charge people for the blue check mark on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram if you want that. But these are things you can do, and this is how you're generating foot traffic. You're generating foot traffic, word of mouth, and when you do a good job, people will be returning customers to you. So keep that in mind, right? So I know I harped a little bit on e-commerce because it's so important, and when you do it right the first time, it's easy to do something else and another website or another business model. The idea is that you just need to do the work and get started. Like some of y'all, I'm not sure why you don't have a functioning website that's like nice and neat because people look at that stuff. Um, so making money online. I know these are some of the things that some of y'all have registered businesses through us to do some of these things like designing t-shirts. Maybe you're doing drop shipping. Maybe you're doing some type of e-commerce store. Maybe you're doing blogging. Maybe you're selling, you know, images, pictures, books, whatever the case is. But what I want to hone in on is kind of the merch stuff, doing things on social media, creating a community, right? These are some of the things that you can do to make money. And then doing a blog, whether it's a video blog, meaning YouTube, right? Going back to YouTube. Um, and then sometimes you can even get paid to watch videos, right? I've done that stuff before. You can't make money from it. You can't. You spend a lot of time doing it. That's for those if you have a lot of time and you don't have any type of skills or whatever the case is. You can do some of these things that take a lot of time since you have a lot of time to make some money. But making merch, it's not that hard. You don't have to have inventory. All you really need is a design You can either work with somebody who does illustrations and stuff like that, get it on a shirt using, Printify or Shopify, whatever you want to do. Printify. There's other websites too. You can do it on Amazon too. Amazon seems to be doing everything. And then put that stuff or connect it to your store on your website or your e-commerce website that you built, which is a simple, pointing at it, and then people can buy from you, and it's not that hard. Um, Doing like social media stuff on YouTube, right? Like, let's say you're pretty passionate about. I'm gonna just use me as an example. Mangas, anime, even indie mangas, and stuff like that. Create a channel. That's another way that traffic can be directed to your website. And if you have um, things to sell on your website, boom, you're making money, right? Like right then and there. And then when you get to a point where you're monetized on YouTube, then you're also making another source of revenue there, right? The idea is that you want to have many sources of revenue coming into to you because things is getting tight, right? So, and then you can, if you're up for it, you can create a course. Not too difficult. Monetize your knowledge. People have been doing that for years. I don't know if people remember Zig Ziglar. The people who sell these courses like as a motivational speaker. Literally, snake oil. I wouldn't say snake oil, but there was some, purpose to that type of stuff. But as an example, so drop shipping. You don't have to have inventory. I've done it. I have a website that I paused because I was not managing it properly. I've spread myself too thin, but sales were coming in. People were buying stuff. You can niche in on a particular niche, whether it's like beauty, technology. I honed in on technology because I like technology and gaming, right? And depending on your market research, how much it was selling using the Scout tool, um, and then you run ads to it via Facebook. Yeah, I would focus on Facebook first. You'll get some traffic and you can tell whether something is going to do well. And you have different variations of the same product to see which ones are going to work better. And you're like, have you done it? Yes, I mentioned that. So it's pretty simple in that aspect, but it just takes a little bit of effort on the front end to have all that stuff where it's set up right, set up correctly. You have the actual manufacturer do their job, make sure the shipping label and all that stuff is sent properly, it's sent to the customer, and everything like that, and you can make money, literally. So that's something to keep in mind. I promise you, it's not that difficult. Um, Doing website designs. Some people, even with the drag and drop stuff, if you get pretty decent at it, people will pay you. They're like, yo, I don't want to deal with the Shopify store. I know it's really easy to do because it's just drag and drop. I'll pay you to do it. And if you're good at it, you can offer it as a service. There's people in Honor that I know need help. So you could do that. And then you can do that obviously outside of Honor, right? Um, so these are just some of the things that you can do in real time. And hopefully that was actually kind of helpful and meaningful. We talked about this before, y'all. Federal Reserve, Fed now, it's here. It's coming. July. So what you should be doing, you should be having multiple bank accounts, right? Because you don't know what's about to happen. They can shut down all that stuff. You should have your speculative stuff with the cryptocurrencies. You should have land, right? If you don't have land, I'm not sure what you're doing, right? And just kind of get the skills up that you need to be useful and valuable to people. What we talked about, you want to be valuable. That's the main thing, is you want to be valuable. Man, I've been doing a lot of talking. Okay, I'm gonna wrap this thing up. Investment opportunity, y'all. I don't know what. Listen, I told y'all this one before, and the reason why I'm harping in on it is because it's right now cheap, and you could have gotten in where it was like around $1.20. It was in the low 20s in June. Even before that, I think it was like low $1.10, $1.20, or whatever the case is. If you would have bought, like I was telling y'all before, this is like 38%. right there, because it's at 206 as of today. And what is Aurora Innovation? Aurora Innovation is a company that has developed autonomous software with the hardware, partnering with NVIDIA for vehicles, right? So on vehicles such as, for Packard, for industrial vehicles or mailing, like, FedEx. Um, they got partners with Uber owns about 26%. So if Uber owns 26% of this company, you think they're about to allow this company to fail? No, they're about to get all their money and some. Hyundai's involved. You got Volvo involved. There's a lot of companies that are involved in this company. And so this company reminds me of another company back in 2015, 2016, a company called AMD. Y'all probably heard of AMD, the chip manufacturer, that now is like the king. Intel used to be the king. Because it was like sitting around like $60 or something like that back in the day. And this is the time where they were talking about IoT stuff in 2015, 2016. So I was hearing IoT. I was like, oh, Internet of Things. Okay, what does that mean? Okay, so you're going to see the big players like AMD, NVIDIA. And NVIDIA at that time was like $20. AMD was $2. $2, y'all. I use this as an example because I remember throwing in money in AMD and also NVIDIA. I just wasn't patient enough for AMD because AMD was chilling at $2. They even went below $2. It was like $1 something. I was like, damn, is this really about to be something? I'm gonna show y'all what the price for, I mean, if AMD was $2 in 2016, this is the price now. $121, y'all. 121. So I say this to say that everybody's talking about autonomous vehicles. Everybody's talking about AI, machine learning, these key terms that you want to hone in on, that there's going to be some of these big players that are going to come on top. And based off of research, based off of what they already have and what they're doing, all the partnerships, all these things, Aurora Innovation is one of those companies that I think is here to stay. And it has potential to do really, 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 really well. So if you haven't looked into this company, I'm an owner and I have shares in this company. So it's gonna be one of those things that you don't want to miss out on. So that's why I wanted to remind y'all, because it's already grown up to like 38% just within this week. So it can happen just like that. So another thing that you can do for those who may be tight on money, maybe you want to find ways to, how do I grow my money? You can loan it out. You can invest in loans with as little as $25. Let's say you're like, I'm not sure. I just throw $25 in there. See, throw $25 and see what happens. I know, do it. The historical returns is like 5.7 a year, which is good. It's better than zero because, well, actually, way better than what's happening with inflation. Like, they say inflation is like what, 4 point whatever, or I think it's like 4 point something or 4.7, maybe 7 point something. But we obviously know that that's not the case. They've manipulated that formula. If you go off of the old formula, inflation is like 17%. Like, your money does not stretch like it used to 50 years ago. It doesn't. So these are ways that you can do, and this will be better than sitting it at the bank. You want to, obviously you want to have things kind of balanced and make sure it makes sense. But these are ways that you can do to not just like, you want to make sure you have your money saved, because we talked about you want to make sure you have a savings in case of a rainy day. But then you also want to invest it, because your money just sitting in the bank, they don't have to hold any money, as you can see, from the debacle with First Republic Bank. They even have the money to cover it. So Prosper is another thing that you can look into, right? I've done it before. Pretty easy to do. I know y'all like, Coach, you still talk about blockchain? Yes. Crypto? Yes. Because it's one of those things that is not going anywhere. You saw the agenda from the World Summit. They were talking about this in 2019, and you're already seeing it like kind of unfold right now. So Block V, I talked about this before, but it's the smart NFT protocol, right? This was shared to me, and so I was like, oh, okay. I should probably look into it, right? So I've been invested into this protocol, and the reason why I have because I want to show you just who's actually involved. Like these are some of the companies that are actually involved, like meaning they use Block V, Miller Lite, the NBA, KFC, American Express. These aren't small French fry. Works, Yahoo, Vodafone. These are just some. They're not all. The coast, right? Is that? That's funny. Um, Ben and Jerry's. Wow, I didn't realize that. So anyway, you want to. I would suggest you actually look into it because what you're gonna find out is that right now NFTs are kind of looked at as like, oh, they're not really all that valuable, but like companies are using it. So, an example, I went to a Dallas Maverick game, and as a gift, they gave me an NFT of a player on the which blockchain was it on? I can't remember which one it was. But anyway, point is that they gave that away to people who attended that game. And I was like, "Oh shoot." And so using it as a collectible, it'll have value. But the thing is with Block V is that they're the actual infrastructure for NFT like management, right? So when you got companies like American Express, they have deep pockets. You got Axe, deep pockets. NBA, they got deep pockets, right? KFC, we know he got deep pockets, y'all. Verizon, I didn't even catch Verizon. Intel, ooh, I'm sleeping over here. Yahoo, y'all. These are big players, and they have deep pockets. So if they're using Block V for a particular purpose, you may want to look into it. So I know it seems kind of shaky with like crypto and things of that nature, but like and just blockchain in general. But trust me, it ain't going nowhere. They have a whole council, y'all, on Digital Asset Alliance. Like they're constantly discussing these things. And so when you have companies like these that are invested and have utilization for Block V, question is why aren't you tapping into it? Or why aren't you at least investigating it? Maybe you're not comfortable with it. If you're not comfortable with crypto, then you should seek either YouTube or get some consultation. We'll help you out. Promise you that. Just go to shabazassociates.com. We'll help you schedule business consultation. Right. Um, and lastly, I always have to make sure I plug this in. Make y'all health a priority, y'all. Y'all tripping out here. Y'all see they talking about it's $1 trillion a season for health. If you don't have your health, you don't know where you're at health wise. Obviously, I'm not the only. We're not the only provider as far as like for the underneath the Aboriginal Medical Association, but we just want to let everybody know. Um, Definitely get your stuff checked out. All right. And on that note, I'm gonna open up for questions. Appreciate y'all's patience. I try to make this efficient as possible. I know I took up too much of y'all's time, but I'm going to get to Mr. Butler's question. So, what would be the remedy if one still owes taxes and aren't able to change name at the moment? Can one still obtain a business bank account? So, there is a remedy for that. There's only one remedy for that. And how we do it is to chapter 7, no acid, right? And so we have a particular method that we do, and we actually did it for a national here in the region 6, and that person, you know, they got their remedy, right? No problems. They living debt free, right? So they just moving along. So um and you can still you and even if you owe taxes, depending on the bank, sometimes the banks will, you know, they may allow you to open up business bank accounts. It just sometimes it's usually the issue of if you owe money to a particular bank, or maybe you overdrafted an account and you didn't pay it back and full, so you'll be flagged in the system that, hey, this person is a high alert a person. So either you can open the account for them or you don't, right? So if you want assistance on um, getting your taxes removed, definitely go to shabazassociates.com or hawab.dfw.org, and we'll be able to get you the remedy that you need, God, on that note. So otherwise, is there any other questions that anybody has that comes to their mind? They have problems. Kind of open up the floor for like 5 minutes if y'all still awake, still up. So I appreciate y'all's pay. Who's this? Yes, sir. You're welcome, fam. Absolutely. Hopefully this all made sense tonight, y'all. Um, appreciate y'all's patience. Been a while since I've done class, but we're gonna get back on schedule. So we're gonna focus on e-commerce next class period, because I think a lot of y'all don't really see just how much is actually there. Like, you should be making money online. You don't necessarily have to go, you know, plug into an office or go to a job or whatever if you don't want to, right? So you can make some serious revenue. Um, just tapping into e-commerce and taking some of your skills that you may have gotten certification and stuff like that, and good to go. You are welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. On that note, I mean, if there's no questions, I don't want to hold everybody up for the night. I'm just kind of like scrubbing off the rest of doing class or whatnot. So we'll focus on e-commerce next class period and the actual specifics of making money. Like, y'all, like, kind of like what I talked about. It's really not that hard to do. We'll probably like just bring somebody on, and yeah, we're supposed to do review of people's websites. So that was the thing. So if you have websites that you want to have reviewed, bring those for next class, because we want to make sure your websites are tip top shape, good to go. So um do you already have? Yeah. So class should be on June 22nd. So that's the next class period, is June 22nd. So, and it's just usually bi-weekly. So we'll do June 22nd, and have your websites if you want them to be reviewed, maybe some feedback, maybe describe some of the challenges that you may be having, maybe social media questions that you may have, connecting that stuff, and just driving traffic, because you need to be driving traffic to that. And there's an easy way to do that, or one of the easiest ways. And I don't even think I mentioned it, but Google Pages, like Google Page Your Business. So anyway, we've talked about this before, but we really need to go into depth, because I don't know if anyone's seen it, but like, they're closing stores, y'all. Walmart's closing stores, Target's closing stores, Burger King closing stores. What is it? Macy's closing stores. Everybody's closing stores. So that means jobs are being affected, and you need to level up your skills. So, other than that, family, I won't take up too much of y'all's time. I appreciate y'all's attention and patience today, and we'll see y'all on June 22nd. Love y'all. Really do. And peace, y'all.